Welcome. In this quick AWS tutorial, you will learn how to create your own VPC, set up public and private subnet, and automatically install NGINX server and EC2 instances using a user data scripts. Let's dive in. A VPC, it is a virtual private cloud. This is your own private network inside an AWS. You can think of it as your data center in a cloud. So a single VPC, it is a single entire network. Whereas inside a VPC you can create subnets like public subnets and private subnets. Public subnets connects to the internet and private subnet doesn't. So subnets are something that actually divides the network of the VPC. Now with public subnet you can connect an internet gateway and you can use a route table, and that's how the public subnet gets connection to the internet. Apart from that, private subnet doesn't have an internet connection. So that's the only difference between the private subnet and public subnet. Now let's head over to VPC and we can start creating our lab. So in order to create a VPC, you can create VPC over here. You can name it. For now I will name it my custom VPC. You can put an IP address. So this should be a network address, and I put it /16 subnet marks. Then by default everything is like this, and you can just create it. Just create our VPC named my custom VPC. Now let's create two subnet inside the VPC. In order to create a subnet, you can go to subnet tab and create a subnet and select your VPC. My custom VPC over here. For subnet, I'm going to name public sub1 availability zone. So you can select availability zone EU West 2A for this one. For an IP address, we can put 10.0.1.0/24. So generally /16 is a bigger network and /24 is a smaller one. So you can go through IP address concept to understand this. However, we can say like this 24 range is inside the 16 because of the name or because of 10.0.1.0. So you need to go through IP address concept on this one. However, I just want to know like the VPC have a network and a subnet have a network itself. The VPC IP address is a bigger one, that is /16, and a subnet IP address for our public subnet it is /24. So it is a smaller one within us. So it resides within the bigger one. So it's a part or it's a section of the bigger one. Let's create another one subnet. We can name it private subnet. Sub1 availability zone. So you can select any. I will select 2B, and the IP address would be 10.0.2.0/24. So this is another section of /16. So this is different smaller section. Let's create it. After the subnet creation, next we create an internet gateway and attach it to our VPC. Go to internet gateway. Create an internet gateway. You can name it my internet gateway 1. Create it. So after creating a gateway, so this is the service that we just created. We need to attach it to a VPC, right? So you can attach it from here, or you can just click on action, attach to VPC, and my custom VPC, and attach the internet gateway. After that, you can create a route table. So route table is something that defines like, let's say if the instance over here wants to access anything, so route table gives an instruction where to find it. So for example, if I create a route table over here and I set it name like table 1 with VPC, my custom VPC, and then create a route table. So you can define the route over here by editing the routes, and you can add a new one, and you can say anything, or this 00 stands for any request or any detection. It should go through internet gateway, the one that we just created, right? And then save it. So that means any request that you want to generate from this instance that is inside a public subnet. So anything that is inside a public subnet that generates a network request, it goes through the route, and it goes to a route table. So it goes to internet gateway in our case, because we have defined a route for an internet gateway. Let's attach the subnet on this. Edit a subnet association, and we only attach the public one because only public is access to the internet, not the private. Okay, we are done with the networking section. Let's go to then I'll create our EC2 instance so that we can test our network and see if it works. Go to EC2, create an instance, launch an instance. So to create an EC2 instance, we can name it EC2, let's say NGINX for now, and we can select Ubuntu. So this is an Amazon machine image. So we call it AMIs. So these are the operating system that runs in EC2 machine. Okay, so you can select any operating system. For now we are using just Ubuntu. And if you select an instance type, so the instance type is something that defines how much RAM and memory we have in our EC2 machine. So for example, if you need more, you can go for this TX large, and this is for 4 CPU 16 GB RAM. So if you need more, you can just select different one, but the cost is heavy, So for now, this one you need to pay $9 per hour, but for our D2 micro, this is fairly cheap, 0.01 USD per hour. So we're going to use this one because we don't need more. Keep here is something that you require when you want to SSH into a EC2 instance, but for us we don't need it. If you have a file, you can just put it. You can create a new one and download that file and put it over here. So for now, I'm just going to put it. Networking. Now we need to select our VPC, so the one that we just created. Then we need to select a subnet. The subnet should be public because we want this web server to be accessed by everyone in the world, because this is a web hosting engineer server, right? And we want to enable the auto assigning of a public IP address. So this gives us a public IP address in our EC2 machine that we can use to access the machine or the web server. Security group. So we can create a new one. Just name it like NGINX security group, and the first security group is it enables SSH. So this is by default. If you want to add new one, for us we need to expose port number 80, so that is HTTP, because we are hosting a web server, and it should be able to access by anywhere in the world. So we're just going to put anywhere over here. Storage configuration. So this is about hard disk. So how much hard disk space do you need? For now 8 GB is good enough. Up to 30 we get it free, but if you want more, you can get it with a little bit cost, and you can select which type of hard disk do you need. So depending upon this, you can increase the hard disk speed as well. Advanced details. So everything here is default. You don't need to change anything, but user data is one thing that you need. So user data is something, so it is a script, and user data is something that runs, the script runs when our EC2 instance starts. So if you want to enable something, or if you want to have EC2 machine run something when it starts, so you can write it over here. For example, in our case, we want NGINX server, right? So this is the user data script. How can you get it? So you can just type it out, or you can just search Google like NGINX server setup for Ubuntu EC2. Then you can get this in various websites, and you can also get it from ChatGPT. So you can just copy it and then paste it over here. So these are just so the line that starts with a hash. So this is a comment. So these lines are ignored by default. However, these lines like sudo apt get update, so these are the commands that run by EC2 machine when it starts up. So this updates the system. The second one installs the NGINX server, so sudo apt get install NGINX, that's why. So this installs the NGINX in our system. As the name suggests, so this starts and this enables on the boot. So generally it installs NGINX, it starts the NGINX, and it enables the start of NGINX when the system restarts or something like that. So let's create an instance now. We got our instance ready. Click on it. Click on the instance ID. So you should have a public IP address like this. Once you start the instance, just copy the IP address and then open a new tab, paste in browser, enter. Just give it a few moment. Yeah, it might take some time, maybe 1-2 minutes, depending upon how much it takes time to start an EC2 instance, right? So we can just go back to instances, and so the one that we just created is this one, EC2 NGINX. So let's see, it's being initializing right now. So as you can see, the web server is running, our instance is up and running, and we can get access to the NGINX server. So that means we have set up our VPC, we set up internet gateway, route table, and we set up our EC2 instance in the public subnet. And inside an EC2 instance, we put our NGINX server over there, so we can access that particular web server through internet, right? So that's what happened right now. We just accessed the entire web server, created web server, set up the network, and web server is up and running. So we can change our web server content as per our need. So generally we have just hosted a completely functioning website. Yeah, so that's all. Thank you.